Okay, so it is Wednesday night. We brewed Sunday. We pitched the yeast on Monday night because we didn't have the spunding valve in yet. This is the unit that you put at the bottom of the FermZilla that is just kind of the bottom of the FermZilla. It picks up all the yeast cake as well as the hops and trub, things like that. I was able to get it off, but I just want to show you guys. If you don't utilize keg lube, what happens is this black piece that's with it, this black piece that's a part of the FermZilla, that is kind of a part of the valve here on the back end, this will go with it. And so I started to kind of twist it off and found that that was going right with it, and I had to tighten the whole unit up, and I had to I ended up having to tighten the whole unit up with this piece here that they give you with the FermZilla, and then I was able to get this off. But if you don't use keg lube, it is going to make your lives much worse. So we got keg lube here, so I will use it here for the dry hop. All right, so here we have our dry hop. It is a ½ ounce of Sabro and 3 ounces of Galaxy. We're going to dry hop for 2 days. We were supposed to dry hop at High Krausen, but right now the beer is just about finished up. We didn't expect the Juggernaut Kvike yeast to finish up as quick as it did. But we're dry hopping nonetheless. It's a New England IPA, so let's do it. So we're going to hit the scissors here with some sanitizer. Actually some dirty things on there, so I'm just going to get those off real quick. Hit them with some sanitizer. We're also very careful, so we're also going to hit the hop bag with some sanitizer. And I'm also going to hit this bottom cone here for the FermZilla with some sanitizer, following the what I like to call gash slug method. And I'm just going to clean this out real quick with a clean towel. You want to make sure everything's sanitized. I think sanitation is one of the most important things you can do. So this is clean. One more little squirtsy. This is clean. Quick squirts. And the bag is clean, so here we go. Just going to cut this open. These have been sitting in the fridge for a few days. They were in the freezer for a while. Oh, they smell amazing. In they go. And now we're going to dry hop. Let's hit this with some keg lube since we forgot the first time. I just think it's very important to be able to easily loosen anything that you need to take off. We're hitting it with keg lube. You don't have to go inside the unit itself. Just make sure you hit it with enough on the outside so when you're unscrewing the unit, it'll be much easier this time around. And I'm sure there's other fermentation units that kind of require you to do the same thing. Or not necessarily require, but suggest you do the same thing. So just a little, I probably like way overdid it. But that's because it just took me 20 minutes to get this thing off. All right, now let's dry hop. All right, everything's cleaned and sanitized. Here's the bottom piece here with the hops in it. We're just gonna screw this on. Screw it on nice and tight. Pretty tight right there. I'm going to take off this piece here. It's a cap that screws in on the other end so that we can dry hop. Alright, so now I got my full tank of CO2. You probably can't see me. You'll be able to see the process though, and that's all that matters. So I got my full tank of CO2. I got my ball lock connection. I'm going to plug it in here, and it's going to blow CO2 out the other side where I just took off the black cap, which looked a lot like this, which is on the other end. And the idea is that you're going to allow CO2 to blow through, but to take oxygen with it. So let's start that process. The other way to do it is to pressure. The other way to do it is to utilize the carbonation that's inside the FermZilla, and you plug it in at the top and bring it through here, and it'll take it through the other side. But our fermentation is pretty much already done, so we don't really have the opportunity to do that. So we're kind of dry hopping on the back end here. So I'm going to turn on the CO2. I don't know if you can see that or not. You should. I'm going to turn on the tank now. I got it on about 10 psi. I can feel it on the other end. As you can see, here's my CO2 tank. It is connected here to the end post of the bottom piece of the FermZilla. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see the cap here is open, and we are allowing gas and oxygen to move through this bottom piece here so that we are able to pressurize dry hop. So we're going to let this go for just a few minutes. We don't want to waste too much CO2. I know some people on videos have suggested letting it go for 30 minutes to an hour. I don't think we have enough CO2 to necessarily do that, but we're going to let it go for a few minutes and see how it goes. All right, I've had the CO2 moving through the bottom here for probably about a minute and a half or so. We are still pressurized at approximately about 7 or 8 psi. The black is what we want. That's the psi reading. So it's still, the fermenter is still pressurized. I'm going to end up bumping that up at the end. I probably won't put that on camera, but I just wanted to show you the process to physically dry hop as we just did all the prep work. So I'm going to take the black cap. So we're going to take this black cap here and put it on the end of the bottom piece. We're going to shut off the gas, undo it. So we're all set for gas. So in theory, that has plenty of CO2 and very little oxygen. The gas is mixed, so no matter what, you're going to have some level of oxygen. Hopefully, the idea is to have very little. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the bottom lever here. I'm going to take the bottom lever that's in the back, I'm going to push it down, and all the hops should come right up into the fermenter. So here we go. So all the beer and the leftover trube went down to the bottom and picked up, hopefully sucked up all of those hops. And as you can see, I'll show you, if you look real close, there are some hop pellets there. So overall, it seems like, you can see more hop pellets. It seems like a successful dry hop, and we'll really know when the beer is done fermenting. But a lot of people might be a little concerned when you pull down the lever that the hops, the bubbles and kind of the friction that's caused when you do that, but because it's under pressure, you're really not getting any oxygen. So there we go. That is how you dry hop in the FermZilla.
Alright guys, what's going on? So we're basically just taking sanitizer from our new Kegland keg and we're moving it to our sanitizer keg, closed transfer. So we have the CO2 hooked up and we are using these female screw barbs. Sorry, I just had to depressurize. Okay, so we're using these barb to female screws on each to pump the sanitizer out of one and into the sanitizer bucket. Also sanitizing our bouncer filters because we're about to close transfer our New England IPA.
We're going from a ball lock keg, transferring into a pin lock keg, utilizing the same female end pieces that Brandon was talking about. All right, so we are ready to transfer. What we have here is the the ball lock keg. The beer line is connected here, and it's connected to, if you bring it all the way up, it's connected to the FermZilla ball lock line as well. We have two filters here that will help filter the hops on this New England IPA. And as it comes down, once we plug this in, the beer will come down into the beer line of the ball lock keg. Sorry, yeah, that's correct. And then this here is a mechanism that will let us know when the keg is full. So as it's filling up, the beer will come up and hit that blue ball.
Red ball.
Red ball. I don't know why I said blue. Red ball that will come up to the top, and that will cut off pressure, which will let us know that the keg is full. So here we go. And we're off. As you can see, the liquid through pressure, we haven't added any CO2 to this. Our spunding valve currently reads that we have about 6 psi. So the pressure within the fermenter is currently pushing the beer through the filters, through the line, and into the keg.